Choosing love is like, you choose love for you. You choose love for yourself. Part of choosing love, I believe, is when you choose to not cross your own boundaries and not let others cross your boundaries. And choosing love is when you also respect yourself and respect others. Like if a person tells you the first time, you believe them, or if they show you in action, you believe them, because a lot of people shows us the first time what type of love they choose. And if, they tell you their priorities, if their priorities is on their family or the money or the jobs, you respect that. And if it doesn't line up with what you got going on, then learn how to walk away with whatever force of habits they have or the people they choose themselves to surround themselves with. And that goes for myself too. So choosing love is very important. I'm not saying, I'm perfect, because in the past I have led with my fist. I have led with anger. I have led with the intention to cause what they cause to me, and that's not good. So, I try to choose love. Not even try, but I do. There's no reason for me not to at this point, especially if I'm very aware of that at this point in my life. I choose love when I don't let someone that pulls up to my house 2:00 in the morning and trying to make me feel bad and feel obligated just because you drove out here without even asking me or letting me know. I don't have to go outside and go inside your car. I don't. Or when you try to confront me about stuff that me and a few other people have moved on from, and you're in your 50s and you're mad at 20-year-olds that moved on and you're still stuck on something in the past, like, I can only laugh at your face when you come at me yelling and being mad. Like, I choose love. I chose to laugh at your disrespectful, immature approach. Or I choose love when, I'm faced with someone that gave me nothing but silence. But I can understand that because they already told me their priorities when, weeks prior, when things were starting to get dry and there was no real pursuit of any friendship. I understand that, because the old me would have led with, being mad and leading with assumptions and leading with a lot of confusions and strong emotions. But instead I led with, okay, that's the response I'm going to get, then that's the response you're going to get. But it's not a pride thing. It's not an immature thing. It's best to just let it be, because that is something that I would like to explore in the future. But right now,
Take care of the queen and do many tasks that build or care for the hive. Worker bees are female bees that don't mate or lay eggs. Every honeybee you see on a flower and almost every bee in the hive is a female worker bee. Male bees, called drones, are the third caste. They have larger eyes and larger abdomens. They don't have stingers. Their only job is to mate with the queen bee. The queen bee feels with her antennas to find an empty honeycomb cell to lay an egg in.
My wealth, my health, and all those aspects and those elements. Because just like the video I posted with the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, you start with do, you end with do. You end how you start. If your day starts with that type of bullshit, it's going to end on that bullshit. And if it ends on that bullshit, it'll start on that bullshit. You end how you start how you end. So I choose love. I choose that. And again, that just goes back to my purpose and wanting to be impactful. That goes back to the many times that I've been tested in these last 3 weeks. The last 3 weeks since May 10th. And even prior to that, but specifically since since that date, I've been tested on my boundaries. I've been tested on my respect. I've been tested on my maturity. And those 3 times I led with the decision to choose me and to choose my priorities and to choose the environment that I'm in, which is with my family, with the production I'm going to be part of, with everything that's lining up for me, because I have all the opportunities, but I have all the space to make mistakes. And I'd rather make the new mistakes that don't affect me bad in a negative manner, but things that I can learn from in a positive way to allow myself to continue to grow. I don't want to be looking back and making 21-year-old mistakes and 20-year-old mistakes and 19-year-old mistakes. I want to make mistakes where I'm 22, 23, 24, 25, and so on, that are beneficial to my growth. That's why I had to go through the things that I needed to go through in order for me to be where I am right now, and so forth. May I please see that day. But I still choose love, man. And that goes back to, When I remember I went to the job interview, and the first thing he asked me was, I forgot what was the specific question, but he asked me, what's the one thing that you want to, that you set out to do, or that you live by? And I told him straight up, I said, I just want to be impactful in my life, impactful when I'm here and impactful when I'm gone. And it's just like a honeybee. When the honeybee goes to the flower, they're impactful. But when they leave, they're just as impactful when their presence is not there. That's how impactful I want to be in the grace that I want to put onto others, and the grace I want to put into people in this world. And I'm not just speaking it, I have to live it. You know what I'm saying? And you see it every day. That goes back to what I literally just said. Well, if you have to believe what people say and do the first time when they show you, because that's who they really are. And I like to believe that a lot of times when people give you advice on things, you have to be careful on who you counsel your problems to. Like I said, be careful who you counsel, who you decide to have counseling of your problems, because that shit is important. When you counsel with yourself, when you counsel with strong spiritual things, when you counsel with family, when you counsel with friends, be careful with who you counsel your problems to. That is very important. Everything is full circle. And like I said, I know I said it again, but in between those do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, in between those two do's, the high do and the low do, there's a lot of elements and things that take part in between that whole structure of life that make up those two do's. So you end how you start, and you start how you end. I'm not talking about how you end the year, but how you end every day, because every day is a new beginning. A new beginning is a new end, and a new end is a new beginning. Wouldn't be no point in me saying all this if I truly didn't do it my damn self. In the past, of course, as a youngin', or I'm still young, but as a youngin', growing up, you say things that you're going to do, and sometimes you just don't end up doing it. But right now, there's a lot of things that I've said, but I've done mostly because, again, I'm only speaking from my experience. And that's what people tend to do when they give advice or when they just talk and speak their truth. You just speak on your experience. You speak on what you've been through. You speak on your perception. You speak on your perspective. And this is my perspective. And I choose love. I choose love from my perspective, because all in all, it will always win in my life. I know it's not the biggest thing going on right now in the world, but if you choose to do so for yourself, just take care of your health, take care of your time, optimize it. Sacrifice those 30 minutes, sacrifice those 3 hours. I know you give 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours to your boss, but if you sacrifice time to work on yourself every day, day in and day out, you will look back and future you will thank you. Part of the reason I choose impact is because that's my purpose, and I lead with that purpose, because a man without purpose is blind as fuck, for real. So day in and day out, I always tell people, and I always tell myself, somebody's always watching, somebody's always listening. And when you make these posts, when you say things, when you do things, people take those things into consideration. I take a lot of things into consideration when people tell me the things that they prioritize and that they believe in and that they follow, because if I follow in my purpose of being impactful, and that's a day in, day out thing, out of the 7 days a week, I might have 3 good days, but those 4 other days, it might be the shittiest of shit. But it's up to me to lead with the purpose that I set out for myself. And that purpose is to be impactful, not just to others, but be impactful to myself too. Those 3 days could be the best days, but those 4 days where I don't feel like doing shit, I'm going to do it. I'm going to have to be consistent, but my consistency needs another layer, and that layer is persistence. I love persistence, because with consistency, that's cool and all, but how persistent can I be through those tough fucking days where I don't feel like being consistent in my routine or in my daily? So I continue to be persistent, and when I do, I feel so fucking great. I feel amazing, because I have to recognize someone's always watching, someone's always listening. And when they see me, or when they see someone in general, just anyone, when they see you do the things you do, they will follow, and they will say, damn, if they do that, if they can do that, then I can too. They will take that into consideration. And that's part of the reason why I take my purpose as serious as I do when that's being impactful. I lead with that because if I don't, a man without a purpose is blind. And yes, I have my past and I have made my mistakes and I have been hypocritical, but I'm not that same little boy that a lot of people think I am, you know? I'm just on me. I'm focused on me. And part of me is what is around me in my environment. That's why I don't mind people walking away on their own or when people decide to do the things that they do and I walk away because that's okay. We might have the different priorities, the things that we want to indulge in, and it might not line up with the environment that I want, with the life that I want to lead, which is fine. I can't be mad. I've had many uh uh reasons to lead with assumptions and everything like that in the past few weeks, but I decided not to. I've been tested in many ways in the last 3 weeks, but I will say I've stuck to it. And when I did, it paid off. The first week felt like hell. The second week felt like, okay, I'm getting a little better. The third week up to today, whenever I release this, it's like, damn, I feel even better. So again, it's just being persistent for me and in my element. So when I start is how I finish, and how I finish is how I start, man, you know? I'm really loving this shit, and I have a lot to smile about. There's so much more to smile about lately in my life. And I'm sure there's things in your life, no matter how big or how small, that we all can smile about with all the shit that we go through. I mean, I see it every day, man. You don't know what's behind these people's smiles, but there's so much to smile about for myself. And there's so much good news I want to tell you guys, but I can't tell you at the moment, but right now I will continue to lead with love. Yes, there's people that I still love that I don't talk to every day, that I don't get to see every day, but I still love you. You know what I'm saying? We might not see each other, things, you know, but I don't like to end things on a bad note. And if it didn't end on a bad note, then I have every reason to still think about you and keep you in my mind and so forth. But right now, I'm doing me, and I hope everyone that is in my life is doing them and doing the things that they need to do for their families, for their loved ones, and for themselves. I really do, because everyone needs that support. Everyone needs that love, and it's time to give that out. It's time to give yourself that. You need that for real, because you could try to nitpick it out of other areas, and that's fine. You could seek motivation, and that's fine. But you got to get it out of yourself. You got to dig real deep, because I've been there, I've done that, and I'm not even done. I'm still working. It's an everyday struggle. And it's funny how I say how to weed them out without trying. You know, you make a post, and I get it. Some people have a low tolerance for disrespect, but it's a no disrespect thing. Sometimes I make a funny post here and there because I just find it simply funny. But if that's how you weed them out, that's how you weed them out. But I mean, not everything's for everyone's eyes, and not everything is for everyone's ears. Just be careful what you say and what you do at the end of the day. Some people just don't take things lightly, especially those who care and love about you the most. That's who it really affects. The people that really care about you and love you want to see you do better and nothing but better every day.